Action.
Welcome, Brijju. Simulations are usually very expensive, right?
Learner is the customer.
Correct.
Learner is the king, actually. The role of an instructor or a teacher, it's no longer the information provider. Your role is a facilitator of learning. Facilitate learning. One technique in the prompting is the RTF, role, task, and format. I would always say the human element, the emotions, the AI cannot replicate. Today I gave the example, where are you going? How do you get to where is your destination? How do you get to the destination? How do you know you have reached the destination? So these are the three fundamental questions. Then he asked, which lecture did you like?
Maybe the one with the books.
Yes.
Because of the reality.
Correct.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Welcome, Brijju. I think you have been here with us for last 2 days to spend a lot of time with our team on instruction design, part of the EdTech Society team. But I would like you to introduce so that we get a sense of this conversation.
Sure. So my name is Brijju Thankachan, and currently I am serving as the Executive Director of EdTech Society. It's a non-profit organization. One of the main goals of the organization is to help the researchers and the practitioners coming together to make a public forum. So we have a lot of teachers, higher education faculty. They do a lot of educational technology, and some of them they don't know what are the best practices. And there are a lot of research going on in the educational technology sector, and most of the time these teachers are not connected with the researchers. So one of the main goals of the EdTech Society is to create a public forum where the teachers and the higher education faculty come in a place, forum, they can share their struggle and what are the challenges, what are the success stories that they want to share. So we have a flagship conference every year. It's called the Technology for Education, T4E, we call it. And last year it was at IIT Gandhinagar. And next year it's in IIT Madras. So I would welcome all of you to come and join the conference.
Just to get a bit more detail, so when you say researchers and educators, what do you mean? How many members are there as part of the community, and how are these people sharing? Is it only the conference, or do you have any other methods of communicating?
Yes. Yeah. So usually, it's a new organization. We started in 2022, actually, officially launched.
Okay.
And we have around 600 members currently. And we are different.
And is there any, is it only teachers, or you have multiple people in the part of the society? Is it only faculty members or researchers, or how does that?
Very good question. Actually, sometimes when I get this question, I usually say that if you have used a PowerPoint slide, you are qualified to become a member of a tech society. So basically, anyone who are in the e-learning industry, anyone who is in the teaching technology. See, nowadays, after the COVID, there is a lot of importance on the online education, right? And many times that's the first time we thought, our PowerPoints can become the online teaching, right? But that's not true, right? The students are disengaged. Many students, they didn't focus very well. So our goal is to, help the teachers how to use, design the instruction in a good way. So in a way, there are different forums that you can share.
What is one thing that has changed after COVID, right? I mean, that we all see something has changed a lot after COVID. I mean, there was one pre-COVID era where things were, definitely some of us were talking about online education and learning, but something changed a lot. During the COVID, people started teaching online, but definitely after that, it also came down and people went back to their normal. But something fundamentally has changed. What do you think has changed significantly post-COVID era, especially from 2022, the time when you have started the organization?
Correct. See, the COVID kind of helped us even with the leadership stakeholders, the online teaching and learning has become an integral part of the content delivery. And something has changed because of COVID. It's that the comfort level of the teachers, it's kind of got increased.
Okay.
Because many times, unless if there is a push comes from, we don't use the technology. And many times, the teachers were afraid to touch the computers or the projectors. They think, okay, if it breaks down, it's on me. So they never touched that technology.
Have it changed right now in your experience?
Yes.
What are the key changes that you would have seen specifically that is changed over the last 2-3 years?
Okay, so one thing I would say that, the comfort level of teachers, how to use the technology. And also it's also helped them to, like maybe the mobile devices kind of help them to use the technology. Different apps came.
Yeah.
For example,
it's also post-COVID, a lot of this technology has evolved significantly, and usage of all these devices have also increased a lot in the coming.
That's very true. Like the EdTech products, a lot of educational technology companies starts up
pushing.
Yes, so they are also pushing the market.
Do you see anything changing at an institutional level also? Because you can see, for example, Swayam as a platform. The government is really pushing it to be deployed from a central level also. So do you see how any key changes from an institutional point of view? Is there any changes that you are anticipating or seeing?
You mean
from a university level or at a college
level? See, that also depends upon the leadership of the institution. Some institutions, they are very much pro for the online learning. But some institutions, they want to, the traditional teaching is more. So there are both advantages and disadvantages. If you take any teaching methods, right? Any medium that we use for delivering the content. So, so it's mainly the leadership that if they do see the difference, and at the same time, sometimes if you do a poor job, you will see a lot of complaints from the students and complaints from the parents, and they are paying the money for their kids. Then they say, what did you teach? So when that push comes, even if sometimes, the online, for namesake, the online sender is there, but they are not delivering a good quality.
I think initially when any university starts, they think that they can just record the video lecture and put it and call it e-learning, right? I mean, we have seen that trend a lot. But now the role of instruction design, and this word used to be very, very corporate specific, right? Instruction designers are a corporate role. But now these roles have been very much integral part of many of the institutions. How do you see instructional design changing or making the course content a bit more evolved?
So I usually give an example. The instructional designer, it's like an architect. When you build a house, first you consult an architect. The architect consult with the client. What you want your students wants to do at the end of the instruction. Right. So then during that consultation with the client, or hearing the instructional design term subject matter expert, either maybe a faculty or a teacher who wants to teach an answer. So then the architect will decide, okay, where you want the kitchen, where you want the living room, how many bedrooms you want. So then the architect designed the plan. So the role of an instructional designer is like that. At the same time, then they will also consult with the structural engineer or a civil engineer. So then it will go to the production team.
Interesting.
Correct. So then the civil engineer use the laws of physics. When they build a beam, they do know how much cement to put, right? The same way, when an instructional designer use the learning principles and the instructional principles. So usually the instructional strategies comes from the learning theories. So the learning theory, many times people confuse with the learning theories and the learning science with the instructional theory actually. So instructional theories are coming from the learning theory principles.
Okay.
So the learning usually happens what's in your brain. But instructional strategy is more from the teaching. What are the methods? How do you get there?
Correct.
Actually, yesterday,
No, I just wanted to check, right? I mean, you said architect, right? But if you look at the faculties who have been teaching for last 30, 40 years, or let's say 20, 30 years, and they would be, I mean, previously there was no architect. They used to be the architect and they used to instruction design. So how do this interface, no, this is a new role, right? You're bringing a specialist into it. So how is that interaction between the faculty and the instruction designer happens? And is it changing? Because faculties find it very difficult to get it from somebody else to be told what needs to be done because they've done it for 20 years and they don't want to change.
Exactly. See, again, the same example I will tell you. If you go to a rural village, sometimes there won't be any architect, there won't be any structural engineer. There will be one person who will come and do all the work, right? He will plan, there won't be any plan. So sometimes it depends upon the resources. Like say, if you are really, for example, IMB, if you want to really put an executive MBA online, very high level, this is the learning outcome, this is what we want the students wants to do at the end of the course. So then we cannot just simply say, I have 20 years of teaching experience.
Correct.
I can deliver the online. It will be like same way because there are a lot of factors coming into the system itself.
Correct.
The technology has changed, right? The assessment has changed. The interactivity has changed. The learner, in the 21st century, the teacher-centric to the learner-centric. You like a learner is the customer. Learner is the king, actually. For example, let's say if I want to, as a learner 20 years ago, wherever I get admission, I will just go, right? But what happens now? The students will go and visit different colleges. They kind of shop around.
Okay.
Which college?
So it's the quality of the building.
Exactly.
So initially it was all small. I mean, if you look at the courses also, it was all one course and they are architecting their course. Now there are different faculties also and you are stitching it together and maybe the role of an architect becomes very important, and here in this case it is the role of a instruction designer, which becomes a very key. How do you any practical examples that you can share how the role of instruction designer has played to build a course? Some stories or some practical examples that you can share?
Sure. I got my PhD in instructional technology from Ohio University, USA. Okay. So then after my graduation, I worked as an instructional designer for a large online program. There were around 6,000 online nursing students. Okay. You might wonder, how can we teach nursing program curriculum in an online environment? But we integrated a program called Digital Clinical Experience, DCE. During it's completely online program, but we integrated digital clinical experience, so the students will get to
how does that? Can you share one example?
Sure. Yeah. So let's say. All the students will have a login username and password. So they will go into a system. Okay. Then there will be learning objectives. So then they will get into the system. It will be a virtual patient actually. So then the nursing students, how she enter into the room? Did she knock the door? She can knock the door virtually. Then did she wash her hands?
Is it simulated?
Yes, simulated actually. So then the questions, the patient will say, I'm not feeling well, then how the students, everything is recorded, whatever the question, chat. So then we will use as an assessment. Then we can look later where they missed, what questions they missed. Did they do this step?
That's interesting. So, but when do these nurses do the courses? During their work hours or post?
No, actually, usually in the US, it's usually the registered nurses. They want to they have the RN licenses. Okay. Then they want to complete their BSN, Bachelor of Nursing, BSc degree, so they can take this course from anywhere as long as they have.
So
the
this
RN
is part of the course. It's not part of the working.
No.
So it's part of the curriculum itself. You have integrated.
Correct. Correct. Most of them are nurses. They are working. Okay. But more. The patient interaction, how do you do the patient interaction, all those theory, and also the practical we kind of integrate.
And I mean, just for me to know, so simulations are usually very expensive, right? So is it expensive, or
Yes.
are there people
Correct.
doing it at a very nominal fee also? But maybe in the scale of things that you're doing, maybe it's not as expensive as deploying a face-to-face.
Correct. So actually for that courses, since we had a lot of online nursing program, most of them it's funded by the employers. So it was affordable for the students.
Okay.
But I think now with the technologies coming, more AI. So I was talking with a lot of IIT Bombay Educational Technology Department students.
Yes.
Let's build something here in India,
Yes.
similar that we can help the medical education.
I think there is no conversation nowadays without AI in education.
Correct.
I mean, how do you, I mean, let's just maybe dive into it, right? I mean, it's just central part of how education will be defined with generative AI. Things have changed a lot.
Correct.
What are the key things that you are seeing maybe as part of the tech society? What are the discussions that is going on, which are key in terms of how AI is used by faculty members, instruction designers? I'm sure every part of content development, AI can be playing a key role. So what is the key things that you are able to see?
As an EdTech Society, we do have master classes every month on different topics related to educational technology.
Okay.
And we do have a session called Perspectives, like a panel discussion. We usually bring the experts from different topics. See, ChatGPT was one of the, I think we did it in 2022 actually. When it just lands, if you go to our YouTube, you can still see a panel session on ChatGPT in 2022. So one of the key things I would say that the role of an instructor or a teacher, it's no longer the information provider. Your role is a facilitator of learning. Facilitate learning. Because, for example, photosynthesis or any topic that you think about, any content topic, right? So the information is there. If you ask ChatGPT or Perplexity or Cloud or any things, the information, any way you put the prompt, it will give the answer. Then what is the role of an instructor? So your role will be, how do you create the questions that facilitate the learning? Where are they getting challenged? How do they use this situation, complex problems? How do they solve the complex problem in the real world?
How are faculties, I mean, if you take an ideal faculty who's facilitating or using GPT in their own educational or training method, do you have any use cases that people are using, how they have used AI to facilitate some of their discussions and this one?
Sure. Actually, I usually give a session on the prompt engineering. I don't know, have you heard about prompt engineering? Prompt engineering. So there are different techniques that you can use. One technique in the prompting is the RTF, role, task, and format. What is the role of the AI? What is the task, and what is the format you want? So you can say that you are a 7th grade maths teacher, and then create 10 multiple choice questions on topic of fraction. Give me in a table format. So that is one example. But many times what happens is that, they will just ask very generic questions. They will ask, okay, give me a 10 multiple choice questions on fraction. We don't know whether it's the topic, it's the high school level, college level, or the PhD level. The ChatGPT or the AI doesn't know which level. So many times, once we know those techniques, that would be the key. So that's what I'm using actually, even for the English.
Do you think, from a faculty point of view, there are two sides, right? One is very pro using AI technology, and the other people who think that, this is going to replace some of the work that we are going to do. But what is your, and there is no stopping, right? With China bringing DeepSeek models and making it a very open source. What would you think the best way for a faculty to go forward? I mean, I'm not saying embrace or not embrace, but how should they see this technology?
See, many times that again I will come back to the comfort level. Many times we need the support system for the faculty to experiment. For example, let's say for example the projector, many of the teachers, they don't use the projector in the classroom.
Correct.
Why?
Why?
Because when they connect the computer, it doesn't come connect. So then they will sweat in front of 60 students.
Okay.
There won't be no technical support staff there to help.
Okay.
At least if you have a first 2-3 days a support person, even if they are using the chat GPT, someone who, let me come, some kind of a mentoring, some kind of a champions, let me help. So once we have that support system,
I think that because there is new technology coming in, they may need an initial push in terms of how to use it.
Correct.
That's what.
Yeah. So there is a very good model if you are interested. Dr. Jayakrishan developed A2I model.
Okay.
So basically, many times you need to explore the technology.
Okay.
Okay.
What
Just explore.
I mean, what
attain.
Okay.
So then I will give you the more detail about that. But basically, first level is to explore the one.
Correct.
You explore. You just ask them to use like a classroom response system technology.
Correct.
Then ask them to create one without any, demand. Just to create one assignment using that technology. So then integrate into their own teaching and learning. So first explore, then experiment with their own setting, then integrate in their own topic. So once we have that simple idea, the model, then it will help them. They will get more comfortable.
Just one small question on the GPT itself. Right now, the new models of GPT, which is starting to operate your computers and starting to do things. I mean, you can give instructions and it's going to control your browsers. I'm sure within the next 2-3 years, I mean, it will become like you will have AI instructors actually having personal coaching with, I mean, it's already there if you prompt well. So how do you think that, I mean, do you think that's a significant role, or still the role of a faculty is very significant in terms of delivering content? Or do you think some of this will be taken by AI, or will it be the mixture of both of them?
Well, I would always say the human element, the emotions, the AI cannot replicate. When we both are talking, if I just keep few minutes silence, you can still read my body language. Yes, I'm thinking. But AI may not think that. So when a classroom, even in the online classroom, if a live synchronized session, even if the AI, it's very good expert, lot of interactive simulation, but the learners are humans, right? They need. Okay, one more example, but maybe it might be a little contradictory what we are doing here, but it's okay. Actually, it's a research based. There was one professor who did a lecture, recorded his lecture in a very big studio, like this, with the green background and stuff, very high-end cameras and technology. And then he also did the lecture, recorded the lecture just in his office with the books in the back, its little flower. Then he asked, which lecture did you like?
Maybe the one with the books.
Yes.
Because of the reality.
Correct.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I mean, another example maybe for me, what I found is nowadays, even though there are music, the concerts are becoming more rushy, right? Because I think anything for that matter, anything handmade is becoming more valuable nowadays. Because I think technology can maybe produce higher quality things, but then the people's experience of actual reality, I think that's why for IIMB, we never have shortage of students in physical classes, right? It is, even though we are offering all the courses online, right? There is definitely that feeling of coming face-to-face. I think that's something which cannot be replaced with any technology. Oh, and that's a wonderful example, actually. How, I mean, maybe how do you feel the future will look like in the because will the face-to-face? I mean, we are talking a lot about the blended formats, right? Most of our courses have some element of physical, online. Then exams are conducted physical. So there's this blending process happening. Is there any discussions on that? How are have you seen different models in which it's delivered?
See, the blended format, it's more depends upon the context. Like, let's say if you have to do a training, you need to deliver the knowledge and skill within 6 months. If the time it's very limited, you need to train more doctors. Let's say there is something emergency came, like a COVID kind of a pandemic. We need more doctors or the healthcare professionals. So then we will get into a blended model. Right, we do more simulation. What are the ways that we can train and deploy the knowledge and the skill? But if we have more time and the resources, we can definitely have the face-to-face. Let's say very much deeper conversation style.
And I think both will have its own value.
I cannot give a model that it depends upon the context. The blended. Again, yesterday I gave the example. Where are you going? How do you get to where is your destination?
Correct.
How do you get to the destination? How do you know you have reached the destination?
Correct.
So these are the three fundamental questions in the instructional design. So how do you get to that destination? One of this is online or hybrid or the face-to-face teaching. So you make the decision how much time you want to get to the destination. You want to go by flight or ship or driving. You make the decision. So once you make that decision, so then you can choose. See, online learning, hybrid, whatever the models, everything is.
There are a lot of options, and we can choose the ones which are
correct. It depends the need.
I just wanted to also tip into, now you can see a lot of AI-based video creations, right? We have been trying to create some of the avatars with professors, and you can see some of these technologies are almost 80 to 90% becoming better over time, right? So have you come across any practical use cases of such technology, either in translation? Because I think one of the biggest challenges is most of this content is in English, and regional language is something which is getting pushed a lot. So have you seen any use cases, something which is translating these languages or using AI technology or any other means?
Yeah. Nowadays, you need to do little 1 or 2, 3 steps. For example, there is an app, I forgot the name last week. I had the demo. But you can translate, for example, YouTube video, it's in English, right? So you can get the transcript from the YouTube, copy it and put it into an AI app. So then you can ask them to translate into Kannada or Marathi, whatever regional language. Then there is a ClipChimp from the Microsoft. There is a video. So if you put that transcript, there is an audio way. So it will just create very high-end voice, female voice. You want high pitch, low pitch.
Wow.
So you can simply create.
And I think these tools are getting very, very interesting. I think in the coming days, some of this technology, translation and it will become very natural. Any other key information that you want to share as part of the IABX community? We want to share a lot of resources and this one on anybody who wants to come on teach online or like want to share materials online. Any key information you want to share as part of EdTech Society?
Yeah, so I would recommend go to some of the instructional principles. Similar to the physics, there are some principles like the cognitive behaviors and constructivism, all those learning theories, right? There are lots of research happening there. From that one, what are the principles that we can look into and the context specific, especially the Indian context specific, the learner characteristics. Try to get more learner characters. Who are the learners? What are their the orientation? Are they just want to get a certificate, or what is their utility? Do they really want to apply the knowledge and skill, or they just want to get the IAMP certificate?
Sure.
So all those things, if we can get more the learner characters, I think the better the instruction.
That's really great. I mean, I hope as part of EdTech Society, you can put more instruction designers in the work.
Sure.
I think this was a very, I mean, even now, I think we find it difficult to find good instruction designers to develop maybe the good architect. This one, as IIMB also, we are trying to build. We are putting together a project which will build together faculties and upskill them on. So we will hopefully do some collaborative work on putting these pieces together.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. I think we really enjoyed the very short, very simple conversation.
Yes.
But I think maybe we will take this forward in the next part.
Sounds good. Sounds good. You all are welcome to come to the T4E 2025 at IIT Madras.
Perfect.
So you can share what you are doing here at IMBX.
Absolutely.
So we would like to hear from you as well.
Thank you so much, Brijju, for the time. Really
nice
great.
Are we good to go?
Yeah.
And the standby?
Yeah.
Rolling camera?
Can you introduce you, Brijju from EdTech Society?
Great. That's it.
ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಆಡಿಯೋ?
Was it good?
Yes. Very nice, very nice.
I think you are very good. I was like,
Also, like, take one picture.